Good morning, friends. Welcome to Connection Corner. I am Barb Nangle, Community Manager of Known. In a moment, I'm going to welcome this week's guest, who is Annie White Brown of Natural Annie Essentials. And she's going to be speaking about her journey of entrepreneurship. And then, of course, she will talk about her product line. But before I introduce her, I'm sure you've noticed that this show is no longer called Known Live. We've renamed it The Connection Corner, because that's what we do here. We connect people. Known Live refers to our entire suite of virtual programming. So let me take a moment to tell you a little bit about Known. It's a dynamic co-working community to connect people across their fields of expertise, endeavors, and experiences. And though we started as a co-working space in downtown New Haven and are still the only co-working space in downtown New Haven, we moved our community online to the virtual world once the quarantine started. As a reminder, Known Co-working is now open and has hourly, daily, and monthly plans for dedicated desks and office spaces, as well as conference rooms and Zoom rooms available for rent. If you'd like to know more about it, you can either email me, barb@knowncoworking.com, or you can check us out on Instagram or Facebook at Known Coworking, and you can check out our website, knowncoworking.com. I've mentioned that our community moved online once the pandemic hit, and as a result, we now have 3 virtual programs. We have Digital Media Sync, The Connection Corner, and Pivot Talk. You can watch replays of all the episodes of these shows on our website, and it's under Known Live and Events. Digital Media Sync is your window to the digital world. It airs on Tuesdays at 8:30. It's hosted by Julia Googe. She's the social media maven of Agents of Branding. And tomorrow morning, she'll be bringing back Zeph Zahn, who's going to give us more tips about live broadcast. We also have Pivot Talk, which is a virtual stage for businesses to share and learn as they grow. And then this show, The Connection Corner, is a place for entrepreneurs, artists, creators, thinkers, dreamers, educators, and community members to share who they are, what they do, who they serve, and how. It usually comes on weekly. It's broadcast at a time that's convenient for the guests, so it's not at the same time every week. And if you or someone you know would like to be featured on any one of these shows, feel free to drop me an email, barb@knowncoworking.com. Our purpose in the physical and virtual spaces is to make connections between people. We're here to help you get connected, inspired, and get known. Now, let me introduce Annie White Brown. Annie, welcome to the show. So glad you're here.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
You're so welcome. So, by way of introduction, I want to let folks know how I met Annie initially. So I used to attend a weekly breakfast series at Sci City, which is the Center for Innovative Thinking at Yale. They had a breakfast series for women entrepreneurs, and she was one of the guests, and I was just absolutely enthralled by her story. And then when the pandemic hit, I was like, I want to give money to women entrepreneurs. So I ordered some of her products, which, by the way, I have a Himalayan Bliss candle. Where's the camera? Burning right now. This is my favorite. And I bought some body butter, and I'm really in love with her products. And then I was listening to a podcast about a candle maker, and they were doing subscription boxes. So I reached out to her assistant and said, you guys should be doing subscription boxes, and lo and behold, they already are. But while I was doing that, I was like, wait a minute, she would be the perfect guest for was Known Live at the time. So I'm going to stop talking now and ask you to just tell us who you are and your journey of entrepreneurship, and then we'll just turn this into a conversation. So take it away, Annie.
Thank you so much, Barb. So as you can see, guys, my name is Annya White Brown, and I am based here in Bridgeport, Connecticut, owner and creator at Natural Annie Essentials. Today, Natural Annie Essentials is a lifestyle soy candle company, but we didn't always start out that way. The company came about in 2014 after the birth of my first daughter, Tiffany. Tiffany was actually born with a condition called spina bifida and hydrocephalus. And due to that, she had a number of surgeries at birth. So that once we got home, we noticed her skin was started to break out. So when prescribed medication didn't actually do the job, I went back to my roots of blending herbs and oils together to get some relief for her skin. And I grew up in Jamaica with my grandparents, where herbs and oils was the go-to whenever we had any kind of issues, whether it be scars or rashes, anything. So I really just kind of went back to my roots to try to see what we could blend to, work for her skin. So that's when we came about the mixture that we, concocted here with a bunch of shea butter, cocoa butter, and a variety of essential oils. So after making that, our little, famous blend, we started using that and it worked for her. I got so involved in essential oils that I actually went back and got my certification in aromatherapy, because it was important for me. If I was going to be using essential oils on a baby, I wanted to be sure that not only was I using the right portions, but using it with the right, mixing it with the right products. So I did that, and then I got really into it. So I started buying more and more oils and just cleaning out my entire house of the products that we had before, opting for a more natural alternative. So I started blending those products, sharing them with my friends and family. They fell in love with it. And then, someone actually said, "Hey, you should probably put this on the market. It's really good." So I tried it and opened my very first Etsy shop back in 2015. So that was the actual birth of Natural Annie Essentials. Up until about 2018, we were primarily at, just offering skincare products and bath and body products. And it wasn't until, I believe, late 2018 that we actually added candles to our product line. And that came about after a show that we did in Brooklyn, where customers were constantly asking for, candles in the scent that the body products were already in. So we had like the eucalyptus, we had one of the body butters, it was called Island Vibe. So they wanted those scents in a candle form. So we tried that. We tried candles. We tested it for a while. And then when we finally brought it to market, we realized over time it was slowly taking over our skincare bath and body company. And I was doing all this actually while I was still working my corporate job. So I was doing Natural Annie Essentials on the side. So having added candles to my already probably like 10 product line, it just became too much for me. So that's when I opted to drop the bath and body line and focus primarily on the candles. And it has been a hit ever since. We've been selling those candles nonstop. We've updated our collections over and over, and our customers are just loving it.
All right. So glad to hear that. I didn't remember that you hadn't started out with the candles. And actually, you mentioned the Island Vibes body butter. That's the one that I have. So does that mean that you don't produce those anymore, and you were just selling them until they were till
At,
your
at
product?
this point, At this point, we no longer carry them full time in the line, and only because we don't have the manpower currently to produce all the bath and body plus the candles that we're doing. But in I believe March it was, when the pandemic hit and everything was on lockdown, our
Mhm,
customers were reaching out again for those original products. So I
mhm.
did do a short run about for like 2 months, and we were
Okay.
just working around the week, around the clock, on getting those out. But our primary focus today is the candles.
Right. Okay. Glad to hear it. And so one of the things that I loved when I got my order from you was I put it in this little, where's the camera? I put it in this little thing. You sent a little sample of a tea light candle and a little note to tell me what it was. It was the mango coconut milk. So I would say for me, Himalayan Bliss is my favorite, and the mango coconut milk is my second favorite. So the next time I put in an order, it will be for that, which I thought was really smart marketing. And then you mentioned, we mentioned that you also do the subscription boxes. Can you talk about how that works?
So the subscription boxes, we realized that some of our customers were coming back, as soon as their candle was done, they're coming back either for the same one or they wanted to try something new. So to make
Mhm.
it easier, we implemented a subscription service where every month we would send a new candle, a new scent, and a new thought. And each of the thoughts actually on the subscription is either some form of motivation or inspiration, and sometimes it can be something funny. So just to just to keep the vibe going and something uplifting for your day.
Mhm.
And I do find actually one of my customers, they sent me a picture the other day with, she's been with our subscription since we started back in February, and she kept every single one of the jars, and she actually had them in a little place because the quote on each has been inspirational or motivating to her in some way. So
Mhm.
I'm really glad that we took that route with the subscription,
Mhm.
and it's just been growing. It's just been growing ever since.
Yeah. So tell me, why soy candles? What is it? How did soy candles fit in with your idea of natural products and essential oils?
So it was important for me when we were going to do candles to have something that was in line with what we already do. So after looking into a number of all natural waxes, we went with soy as the preferred option. And soy,
Mhm.
because it's a much cleaner burn for candles and it burns much slower than
Mhm.
your, say, paraffin candles. So that's pretty much why we stuck with soy. But there are other natural waxes out there that I know other companies use, but soy
Mhm.
was the way to go was the way to go for us.
And when you say cleaner burn, what do you mean by that?
So for a lot of candles, and this is particularly with like paraffin candles, there's a lot of chemical that goes into the paraffin wax. With soy, when you burn it, you don't get a lot of, they call it soot in the candle world. You don't get that black smoke
Okay.
going out into the environment, which is not only bad for you, the person burning it, but it also really messes up your wall and stuff like that. So it's
Okay.
really bad for the environment, where soy is it's a more plant-based product, which is much better.
Mhm. Yeah, the other thing that appealed to me about you and your product line is that, like, chemicals scare me. I hate them, and I used to make my own cleaning products. I now There's a company called Melaleuca, which is
Yeah,
actually the name of the essential oil, tea
essential tea
tree
tree.
oil.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how they named their company, and they started
Hmm.
with essential oils. And I buy my cleaning products from them because chemicals just scare the crap out of me, both
Yep.
in terms of like cleaning and laundry and all that stuff, but
Hmm.
also what goes into my body.
Yeah.
And like I make my own mouthwash with essential oils, but I've just started really using them for aromatherapy. And I
Hmm.
just maybe 3 weeks ago brought I think it's called a purifier, where it mist. You put like 5 drops
Yeah.
of the essential oil into the
Hmm.
water and it mists. And I can't tell you what it feels like. The particular oil that I burn in there is called, I can't think what it's called, but it's basically to reduce stress. And every time when I inhale it, I almost feel like my lungs grow.
Yeah.
It's really
It's
incredible.
It's
So
fantastic. And Melaleuca was one of the companies that I had looked into too when I was going crazy about my oils, but I did settle with doTERRA. But the
mhm,
oils are really powerful. And I remember
mhm,
when Tiffany was a baby, I lived by it. I would drop lavender in her bath. I would diffuse the oils, before she goes to bed, because
diffuse.
oils are very
Yeah.
powerful. So the thing is called a diffuser.
Mhm,
So the oils are very powerful, and I mean it's great for the environment. You
mhm,
use it on your skin. It's wonderful.
mhm.
So yeah, I mean essential oils for the win always.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that there's people watching who don't really know what an essential oil is. Can you take a minute or so, and tell us, like, what is an essential oil, and why is using essential oil preferable to the chemicals in traditional, like, cleaning and body products?
So essential oil is literally like if you squeeze, like I like to give people this example just because it's much easier to picture it. So if you have an orange peel and you squeeze that orange peel, the liquid or the rime that comes out of it, that's what essentially essential oil is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's essential oils are expensive because it takes a lot of those peels to give
Mm-hmm.
you one of those small bottles. So
Mm-hmm.
in as easy as I could explain it, that's essentially what it is. The
Mm-hmm.
liquid that comes directly from your plants.
Okay. And why are they preferable to chemicals for your body and for the environment?
Because it's an all natural source. It's raw. It's the real thing from the earth. Like nothing is usually added to pure essential oils. There are a lot of essential oils out there today that contains other things because some companies they do cut it. They call
Mm-hmm.
it cut it in the scent world. So they
Mm-hmm.
add either other oils to it to dilute it to make it cheaper, or
Mm-hmm.
whatever other kind of chemicals they may add to it.
Mm-hmm. So I'd like to now talk a little bit about being an entrepreneur and especially a mom, because we have a lot of moms in our community and a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of mom entrepreneurs. And
Ah,
maybe if you could talk about some of the stages that you've gone through, like one of the things we were just talking about before we came online was how she's going to be moving into her warehouse. And so she's been doing all this stuff in her home and like what it has been like for your family and for
it's
you
been
on this journey.
it's been honestly it's been rough, and
Mm-hmm.
I've come to realize the more you grow a business out of your home with kids, it becomes harder. And let's not add the pandemic to it because that's just chaos. That's just chaos. But it is quite possible because I have been running this company out of my home for the past 6 years
Mm-hmm.
with my two young kids. I have a 6 year old now and a 3 year old, and it just becomes a part of your life. It's hard to separate the two. I know a lot of people say you try to balance work and house life, but personally for me, I feel like that's almost impossible because you're living at your job, kind of. Um, so the kids, they that's all they're seeing because they're here, constantly, especially now. Now we're adding homeschool to the mix. So it's very hard. It's very hard, and it's something I still struggle with. I have no shame. They would say no shame in telling people I struggle with it because it's a lot to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Homeschool is something I never thought I would have to do. I know now I'm really not cut out for it, but it's something I have to learn to do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's hard, and I take breaks as much as I need to. I walk away from the work if I have to, just to take a breather, to regroup and get myself, back to a comfortable state to be able to continue my business because it's tough.
Mm-hmm.
And I have broken down quite a few times since school started in September,
Mm-hmm.
because it's just like everything is caving in on you.
Mm-hmm.
And you still have to work and you still have to do school. So I just take a break. When I feel overwhelmed, I take a nap.
Okay, I was going to say, what is taking a break for natural Annie look like? So what kinds of things? So napping, what else? What
I'll
are
take a
other
nap.
things that you
Another thing I'm big on is Netflix.
do?
So
Okay.
if I want to totally just escape work and all the things that I have to do, I'll just
Mm-hmm.
binge watch something. And I
Mm-hmm.
can't watch anything that's work related that has any kind of inspiration about work. It has to just be something totally different
Right. Yeah.
for me to mentally really, escape.
Right. Yeah. To check out. Yeah, I hear you. And I have felt during this pandemic that working parents are the ones who are the most hit by this,
Yeah.
people, and especially if they're low income and they work and,
Mhm.
they have to homeschool their children and how do you manage all that stuff? So I really feel for you and, bless you for all that you're doing. And, I
Thank
think it
you.
is really important to
Yeah.
take breaks and to realize, we are just human beings
Yeah.
So,
And I say to the moms listening, it's okay to not have it all together. I don't
yeah,
think anybody have it all together. Um,
yeah,
Social media makes it look like, everything is nice and dandy, but no,
mhm,
we don't even have to have it all together. As
yeah,
long as we're staying consistent with what we're trying to do and try
yeah,
to be better at it each time. I
yeah,
feel like that's what's important than showing up as if you have it all together.
yeah, agreed. What's coming to my mind right now is I'm part of a networking group that's called the Collaboration of Minority Women Professionals, and there are so many mom professionals like you in that group. I would love to have you come to one of our events, which are all online nowadays, but would love to have you participate in that and, maybe speak for that one time. But if you're looking for some kindred spirits, that is the group in which people
We'll cry together. Let's cry together.
absolutely. So I do want to remind people that if you have a question for Annie, go ahead and put it in the comments. Even if you're watching this recording after the fact, you can go ahead and put a comment either in YouTube or in Facebook, and we'll make sure that she gets it. But if you're watching live and you have a comment or a question for Annie, we'd love to hear from you. I do also want to make sure that you have that you see that the way to get in contact with her is either on Facebook or Instagram at Natural Annie Essentials. She's on Pinterest at Natural Annie 15. And then you can also email her company info at naturalannieessentials.com. And right now they have an offer that if you order $80 or more in products, you get free shipping. So we got all the commercial stuff out of the way. I'd love to hear a little bit more about your product line. And so I've mentioned, my favorite candle is the Himalayan Bliss, and I think that mango coconut milk is my second favorite. I do also have the Island Vibes candle, and I do enjoy it, but there's something, it's a little bit on the stronger side for me, but I have the Island Breeze body butter. And
Yes.
I love body butters. I think because there's something about that thickness about them that's
Yes.
wonderful. Do you have favorites?
Um, I think my favorites vary by seasons.
Okay.
Um, so right now I'm high on pumpkin.
Okay.
I'm high on pumpkin right now. And then my next favorite to that would be brown sugar. So
Okay.
both very sweet, and I find myself really burning more like a nak champa, which is like an incense
Uh,
scent. Um,
that's my favorite incense is Nag Champa. I burn it all the time.
yes, when I really, really need to relax, it
Me
brings
too.
me down. It brings me
Absolutely. Like, I need some peace. Give me some Nag Champa. Absolutely. I
down.
see
Yeah,
that you
so
have in the background there. I see you have some of your candles with the labels on them, with the names on them.
mhm.
Can you bring those closer and show us what some of those
Sure.
are? Because you have some really
Let's
intriguing and unique titles on your candles, which I love. And I
see.
want to say something about the brown sugar. Like, I've found that I cannot have candles like that around because it makes me want to eat sweet things and I can't do sugar. But I love those smells like that. But like pumpkin is a good one because you get the nice
Uh-huh.
like the pumpkin and the cinnamony and all that stuff. And it
Yes.
doesn't make me crave pumpkin pie, for example. But brown sugar, I'm like, nope, I need cookies when I smell that.
Yeah, and I get that a lot. I get that a lot from our
Yeah.
customers. So I totally,
Yeah.
totally get it. But
But at the same
these
time, it can also be a substitute. Like instead of eating the cookies, you burn the brown sugar candle.
exactly. And that's what I say. Like you could still enjoy it calorie
Mhm.
free at that,
Right, right, right.
um, without eating it. So the
Yeah.
candles that I had in the back were actually from my Thoughts collection, and
Okay.
those were so for example, these were all inspired by, like, there was one day when I was just working here and everything, the morning started out perfectly fine. I felt like I could do all the things, and then by midday I was like, okay, I have no idea what I'm doing here. So it was just from the thoughts that I was experiencing that day, and I thought they were funny. And so I made those into, or candle labels with different scents that kind of
Mhm.
relate somewhat to the mood. So, for example, the creating all the things would is normally like my morning candle.
Okay.
And then I don't have the one that says I have no idea what I'm doing, but then this is pretty much, can you see it? This is pretty much
Currently
me
overworking, is that what it says?
overthinking.
Overthinking.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
pretty much me right around the clock. I'm always
Yeah.
overthinking. This
Uh-huh.
one is
Get
usually
shit
in my
done.
office,
Love it. Love it.
and
I
it's
think
the
from what I've heard, there's another co-working space in town called the District, and for what I hear, their theme is get shit done. So you might want to take a visit over there and be like, "Hey,
oh,
I got a candle for you.
we have
Get
something for you.
shit
Yeah,
done."
so it's really things that can push you, I would feel, because I feel like words do have power, and
Yeah, absolutely,
I
absolutely. I'm
do
a
I
huge fan.
do I do use them. So, and then we have the Be the Change candle.
Love it, love it.
And this one was actually, it started as a part of the subscription box. So
Okay.
right around what was it, like March, when they were having a lot of riots and stuff, I was trying to figure out the month prior what
Mhm,
our next candle thought would be for the coming month. And
mhm,
I slept. I was at my parents' house actually one Sunday evening, and
mhm,
I hadn't come up with a thought for the coming up candle just yet. And I like, what
mhm.
could we possibly use right now in this climate that would, you know, just make people feel like, yes, I can do something to do, to bring about some kind of change, whatever
Mhm,
it was. Um, and then I came across the quote, "Be the change." And
mhm,
I'm like, that's perfect. That was
mhm.
perfect. And then I settled on that, and we offered it in March as our subscription candle. But the feedback we were getting online, everybody wanted a piece of this candle. So then I opened it up, and we just, we offered it, throughout the site without the subscription in March. But
Nice.
it was supposed to be a month-long candle, but we kept it on the line because in March, not actually, now that I think about it, it's in June. So in June, we donated a percentage of all the candle sales to the Black Lives Matter movement.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And in June alone, we raised over $6,000 from that one candle.
Nice. Nice.
So it was going, and people were gifting it, and people were sending it to their staff, their coworkers.
Awesome.
It was so, it felt so good to see, how people were trying to be a part of the change. And
Excellent.
just through a candle, so
Right, right,
that was really awesome. So
right.
we kept it on, and now every month we give a percentage to a different organization.
Oh, nice. Oh, I love that. That's
Yeah,
fantastic. So, are you going to keep it in the line, or are you going to pull it off for a while and bring it back another time?
I'm keeping it because not only we realize that our customers from the website, they're getting it, but now we do also wholesale our candles. So now our shops are requesting the candles, so
Oh,
they're
nice.
selling it in their stores, and they're offering an additional percentage to whatever organization they like. So it's like a ripple effect. It just keeps on giving.
Awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
who knew? I mean, that is absolutely fantastic.
yeah.
That's great. So we're getting towards the end here, and I guess I'd like to ask you specifically for moms who are entrepreneurs, especially if they're working out of their home and homeschooling their kids. Any last thoughts? I mean, I love what you said. Like the idea that you should have it all together all the time is just BS, and
Yeah.
that's not accurate. But anything else that you want to share?
I would say reach out for help. Reach out for help when you need it, because and I fall short of this sometimes too. Sometimes you feel like you can do it all. Like you're superwoman, but then you crash so bad at the end.
Mhm,
It's
mhm.
totally not worth it. So definitely reach out for help whenever you feel like you need a break or you need an extra hand. Um, so that's what I have been doing. I'm very close with my parents, so they're here a lot. And
Mhm.
even if it's a friend, I'm like, help me.
Right,
In
right,
way.
absolutely.
It could be the
Yeah.
smallest thing, but that one small thing taken off your plate could help you so much. So
Mhm.
reach out for help whenever whenever you can. And if
Yeah.
not everyone, if I realize not everyone has close family members that they can call on.
Mhm.
But I've also found that, especially on the business side of things,
Mhm.
there's so many great Facebook communities out there with
Mhm.
women like myself, like us, that needs help or just need an encouraging word to get through
Mhm.
the day.
Mhm.
And it helps. You can vent. You
Yeah.
can vent.
Yeah.
You can get advice. You can get,
Mhm.
they'll help you out from a distance. It's
Yeah.
amazing. So
Yeah.
I heavily rely on those two things.
Yeah. I love that. I've really learned as I've gotten older to reach out for help, and that
Yeah,
the way I think of it is, humans are wired for connection. And that when I have someone either physically holding my hand or metaphorically holding my hand, oh, it gives me so much more strength.
it
And
does.
to know that like I'm not alone is just so, so powerful. So I really love that.
Yes.
We're going to wrap up now. I want to thank you again, Annie. I'm going to take you off screen for a moment as I close out, but I hope you'll stick around for a minute just so we can
Thank
chat
you. Thank you
up.
so much for having me.
Oh, you're so, so welcome.
All right.
All right, folks. Well, that wraps up another episode of the Connection Corner. I want to thank Annie White Brown of Natural Annie Essentials again for coming on and talking about her journey of being a mom and an entrepreneur and where that's taken her. Next week on the Connection Corner, on Thursday the 8th, we have queer artist of color Rosaria Stillwater, who is going to be talking about their different sorts of creation, some of which is drawings and paintings, and some of it which is performance based. And that is partially brought to you by the New Haven Arts, Culture, and Tourism Department. And tomorrow on Digital Media Sync, Julia will again feature Zeph Zahn, who has 10 tips for engaging your virtual audience. Don't forget to leave comments, even if you're watching the recording, and we'll make sure that Annie gets them. All right, my friends, thank you so much for joining us again on the Connection Corner, and we will see you next week. Take care now.